The Tories also had their own cameras rolling, and it's part of a new strategy to get their message out, bypassing reporters like you.
That's right, Donna. Today's Tory caucus meeting was a carefully produced set piece. The script, the backdrop, the standing ovation. All choreographed not so much for the news cameras, but for conservative cameras. All political parties are now relying less on mainstream media organizations and increasingly on in-house media production teams hooked up to the world's most popular social networks. For this caucus meeting, the federal Conservatives had 4 video camera operators, their own still photographer, and this director, all hired to produce a broadcast quality feed on Andrew Scheer's Facebook page.
Canadians.
This is how all political parties are starting to cut out mainstream news organizations to provide homemade content targeting their voters. That content is unfiltered and often without all the facts. The most notable example is in Ontario, where during the election campaign and after, Doug Ford's communication team produces content that mimics a television news segment.
Since his inauguration on June 29th,
but that pretend TV reporter works for Ford, producing feel-good content gobbled up by the so-called Ford Nation on social networks. And it's not just conservative parties. The federal Liberals have made a cottage industry out of producing videos and photographs of Justin Trudeau that they distribute on social networks where Trudeau has an audience measured in the millions.
So, David, as we look ahead to the next federal election, what are some of the implications of this strategy?
I think it means all voters are not going to have the same election experience or exposure to various candidates and parties. The partisans in particular are going to get heavily filtered versions of reality that favors their particular candidate. And that will put more pressure on mainstream media organizations to break through what I'll call these feel-good feeds with analysis and information about other parties or views that challenge the preferred candidate. Donna?
It is a challenge for us. David Akin, thank you.
They don't like Donald Trump, and I don't like them because they're very dishonest people. The New York Times is failing. If I weren't here, I believe the New York Times probably wouldn't even exist. And someday, when I'm not president, which hopefully will be in about 6.5 years from now, the New York Times and CNN and all of these phony media outlets will be out of business, folks. They'll be out of business because there'll be nothing to write and there'll be nothing of interest. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, Russ, Facebook launching a new platform, a new app, a system to deal with fake news. Trying to weed that out.
Okay, the social media giant is offering a feature that will allow you to see more information about the sources behind content that goes viral. A button will appear next to links on Facebook news feeds and will lead to publishers' Wikipedia page, related articles from the same source, and whether friends have shared the same news story. The feature has already been tested in the US and the UK, and there are plans to expand to all links that are posted on their platform.
Still a big problem. You see a lot of that. When you read an article, you got to look at that URL, make sure where it's coming from.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, of course, Facebook has received so much heat for a lot of this type of information. So they're trying to do something. We'll see if it works.
Good to have.
Yep.